Thank you very much. Thank you very much for this video. This is the third time I see it and I'm still moved. Really, I'm always impressed when I hear it. Ladies and gentlemen, under the presidency of our colleague Bernard Sabbe, professor in psychiatry at the Antwerp University, ordinary member and a former member of the Medicine Academy, a joint committee of both medicine academies organized this symposium. Professor Sabbe has combined different sources and different
Ik vermeld het laten getuigen en participeren.
and different areas as a river. I'm mentioning several testimonies, ongoing discussions with political and administrative authorities. And there were also many exchanges within the committee in order to take into account the different point of views. The drafting of the opinion containing the recommendations from the Academy was very important. Colleague Sabbe, you have the floor so that you can explain this opinion.
Majesteit, excellenties, geachte toehoorders.
Ladies and gentlemen, dear guests, the importance of mental health for youngsters, for their family, and for the whole society cannot be underestimated. There are two opportunities for a good well-being that are not used, and people are not sleeping because of depression. This is about despair. People depressing, feeling anguish, and all those people living with traumatizing memories, the fear to see your own body alienated. And all of that clearly has an impact on the self-confidence of youngsters. A young patient of 14 years told me that my brain is hurting day and night. With the opinion that we are going to put forward to you, both academies want to draw your attention on this topic, and they want to put forward concrete recommendations for mental health care in our countries. We are all really familiar with the problem. Under recent surveys from UNICEF, 16% of boys and girls have negative thoughts with cognitive and emotional trauma disorders. This all has consequences on their school life. 25% of them need specialized help. International studies showed that between 16 and 27% requiring that support actually benefit from it. So we see underdiagnosis and undertreatment. This has enormous consequences. Delis shows that among 10 to 20 years old, 45% of issues are due to psychological problems. Many of them last in adulthood, where 34% of those youngsters are benefiting from adulthood psychiatry. 48% benefit from this support before the age of 18 years old and 62% before the age of 20 years old. In 2019, both academies created a scientific committee for mental health of youngsters. The composition was the following one you can see on the screen. And I thank each and every member for your support to the Academy. We want to reform, we want to innovate. Therefore, we want to be able to achieve goals and confirm the processes as they are confirmed in the texts, including the guide towards a new mental health policy for children and adolescents. I obviously recommend you to read this document. A survey of the different networks for youngsters' mental health was carried out. All of the networks answered. 11 topics have been selected as a priority, and you will be able to see them in the documents that were provided to you. We have organized meetings based on that with the different stakeholders. And we have included the effects of the COVID-19 pandemics. This all led to 5 topics that were the basis for the opinion which was approved in January 2021. Allow me to go through the different topics. First topic. We need a scientific state-of-the-art and a clear definition of the concept of mental health. It must be broad. It must include education, family, and we also require scientific evidence that are based on preventive, diagnostic, and therapeutic interventions. We also need to use existing instructions and new instructions. All of it must be integrated in the training of healthcare professionals in schools and universities, including doctors, because a psychological approach is more often than not left behind. The first recommendation is therefore to integrate the holistic and cross-disciplinary approach of children in the training of all healthcare professionals. Second recommendation, the importance of prevention in pre, peri, and postnatal care and in infant psychiatry. We need to avoid the siloing approach. Prevention is not always approached in the right manner, especially when we compare it to the curative medicine. We need to take into account prevention. We need to support women during their pregnancy, and to do so we need many stakeholders. We also need to work with social services to be able to do it. These are the famous first 1,000 days. They are of the utmost importance, and funding for them is not enough. Clearly, we do not have enough vision when it comes to psychology. We do not have enough caregivers, and those people have to work under very difficult circumstances, more often than not. Teenage years are also very vulnerable years. Suicidal thoughts, delinquency, violence, dark ideas. And a few projects are already being implemented. They can be bases for our work, such as, for example, the Milestone project in Europe. Second recommendation, we need to strongly focus on primary and secondary prevention, including by simplifying and increasing the accessibility of mental health care for children and adolescents. We need a more uniform and targeted diagnostics at the start of the care process, leading to more focused interventions. It is also recommended to expand transitional care by creating a bridge function towards adult mental health care. Topic 3, participation and destigmatization. We need new concepts and models that can be included in the Belgian context with the exploration of care trajectories and the care continuum by the users themselves, and having a broader communication with the public aiming at destigmatizing. There are 4 basic concepts: the aims, the context, the stakeholders, and the strategies. It goes from informing towards deciding through understanding, obviously. A practical handbook for the participation of children and youngsters for all networks is recommended. There are different methods for different age groups, We need a functional framework, and the involvement of children and youngsters is of the utmost importance to draft the handbook. Recommendation 3. Publish a handbook and practical playbook on the participation of children and adolescents in mental health as a guideline for the networks and all the stakeholders. Topic 4. A digital roadmap. Well, maybe an app, it could be an app, summing up all the services for mental health care towards children and youngsters in the first, second, and third lines. Who does what, for whom, where as well. We need to have a deeper understanding of that. We need to improve accessibility as well. We need to be able to understand clearly where assistance can be sought, and we can also take part in a personal care plan. This is the 4th recommendation. It needs to be user-friendly, accessible for all the authorities, all users, all care providers, with quantitative and qualitative information about all support and care facilities for mental health of children and adolescents. 5. Data registration. We need a general system for the different care sectors. They can provide us more information on care trajectories and on existing gaps that have to be filled. In Belgium, we do not even have a federal database, neither at the community or at the regional level. There is one, though, at the international level. In March 2016, there was an interministerial conference, and it led to an opinion for registration of minimal data. Unfortunately, such a proposal has not been implemented yet. It can be reactivated very easily, though. This is our 5th recommendation, creating a national system of uniform data registration for mental health care. We have a 6th recommendation, that is, facilitate the rollout of a national pilot project combining all the above recommendations while contributing to scientific research through the follow-up from pregnancy to adulthood, with the registration of a large naturalistic cohort with more than 1,000 people being monitored along that path. Today, allow me to invite you to the different working groups and to focus on those 6 pillars and making sure they are translated into concrete recommendations. Thank you very much.